Wow. Okay. All right. So I think I'm in live. I've never done a live video on Facebook before. So this is super cool. Hopefully I can see everyone's comments that pop up. It is currently 8:28 here in Costa Rica. So I don't know where everyone else is from and what the time is there. So let me know if that light is a little bothersome for everyone. Let's do that. I will move a little bit so we are not in the light. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so my name is Alyssa, and I am currently living in Costa Rica. Yeah, so that's really cool. So let's start with a little backstory about like who I am, where I'm from, and how I started to teach abroad. So I am 32 years old. I think I'm a little old for like traveling and exploring because like I meet a lot of people who are in their like 20s. So I think it's super cool to be on like the higher end spectrum of like the traveling world. I think that's pretty cool. So if anyone's out there that's a little bit older or thinks they're a little bit older, like it's amazing being in your 30s and traveling and doing this. So I'm 32 years old. I am from Indiana. I know like the biggest city in Indiana is Fort Wayne. I grew up there. I loved everything about it. I went to school there, college, played softball there. And I've done a lot of work throughout working in Fort Wayne. I used to work for an ABA clinic, so I used to be an RBT therapist. So I worked with kids a lot. I worked with the parks department, the school systems, but my main job was as an RBT therapist. So I knew I liked kids. So before I started to teach abroad, and like really how I thought about teaching abroad was that I knew I wanted to give back. I knew my life was more than like my hometown. I knew my life was bigger than I have ever imagined, and I always knew I wanted to do as much as I can. I wanted to see as much as I can. I wanted to experience everything. Anytime my friends wanted to go on a trip, like anywhere, I was 100% down. I was that person my friends would call up. He's like, Alyssa, I want to go up to North Carolina. Do you want to go? Yes. Alyssa, we're about to drive the coast of California all the way up to Washington. Do you want to go? Yes. I was that person. So I knew my life was like bigger than like what I expected. So I knew I wanted to travel. I looked into teaching abroad because I actually saw a couple of my friends do it in college. So before I reached out to them and they did teaching in Thailand. And so like my thought process was to teach in Thailand. And through the Explorers, they do a great job with everyone teaching in Thailand. So I did my little research, found Explore, and that's what I wanted to do. So in 2019, I like reach out to them. I was all set to go. I had 2, 3 jobs, saving up all my money, basically hustling. So my favorite saying is job for the bills and job for the thrills. And so I was killing it, making the money, living my life so I can go teach abroad in Thailand, right? So I was saving all that money in 2019. And then in 2020 came, I was supposed to leave to go to Thailand. Ironically, I was supposed to leave in 2020 of March. And as everyone knows, the pandemic happened right in March. The world shut down, flights shut down, countries were closing. So I couldn't really go to Thailand at all. So I had to basically backtrack all of everything that I was doing. I had to figure out everything. I had to replan my life and refigure out everything. Um, so that's kind of where I landed with Costa Rica. So fast forward 2 years later, my partner and I decided that like, hey, we don't really want to settle down yet now, and we want to figure out what we want to do with our life. So I reached back out to Explore, like, hey, do you guys remember me from like 2020 of March when we were all going crazy, don't know what we're doing? Can I redo this and like maybe pick a new country? So I basically landed with Costa Rica, and that's how I got here. So then we get down to San Ramon, Costa Rica, and we start doing the whole teach abroad process. And you do these hours of training where you do classroom training in the hostel where you're learning how to teach abroad. You're learning about ESL, SSL, you're learning how to write lesson plans, how to help students pronunciate their words, different teaching strategies. You're learning all that. And then you go into high schools and learn about teaching in front of students, because classrooms in different countries are completely different than classrooms in America. And that to me was my first like actual culture shock, was being in the school system, because it was completely different than being in an American school. Uh, so I think it was a really great experience having us go into the school system, because without that experience, I would have had no idea what I was walking into as being a new teacher, because I've never taught in a classroom in America. So I didn't have that background of any type of classroom management. So seeing that firsthand classroom experience was really helpful. So I really was thankful that Xplore was able to take us into the classrooms. And then we also did a lot of teaching online classes, because Costa Rica offers a lot of jobs online. And also they take their health and safety very seriously here. Actually, this year we went virtual for 1 week because of sicknesses that were going around all of Costa Rica. Basically, every school shut down for 1 week. So I thought it was very helpful that we had that training of doing online, that I was able to use it in my actual job system. So that was amazing. So during our training, we got to do classroom management, we got to be virtual, and then we also got to explore all of San Ramon. And honestly, it was so cool and humbling being in San Ramon, because it is a local culture and you get to go to sodas, which I didn't know what a soda was. And if you have any questions about sodas, drop them below because I can tell you more at the end of this. So like, what are sodas? So we went to sodas. We got to go to local grocery stores. We got to go to the local farmers market and practice our Spanish. We got to go to like waterfalls. And San Ramon is very close to different cities. So we got to go to La Fortuna and check out the volcanoes. We got to go to beach towns with Jaco, with very easy transportation with the bus systems. So we got to do that all during training. And a really cool thing that Xplore does is they help you out with your teaching profile, which also gets you lined up with your job systems. So if you are looking for a job, which all of us are, we all want to be teachers, they help you get your interviews. And I had at least 3 or 4 interviews with different schools here, and Xplore was walking us through every step. They basically had a calendar for every single person in our group, of when your interview was, who was your interview with, and basically gave us some backstory on that school that we're interviewing with, which was amazing. So we were able to go to the school's website. We were able to get some backhand information on the school before the interview started. So we were very well prepared for our interviews. And then basically after your interview, you're able to pick yes or no if that school liked you or not. And then you were able to move after your training to that city that you're in. And another amazing thing with Xplore was that they were able to basically give us resources. So when we went to a new city, we knew who to contact. We basically knew where to live. We knew if we wanted to do Airbnb first. We got to figure out if we wanted to do housing first. They gave us Facebook groups, locals, phone numbers through the WhatsApp. It was really cool. Ooh, some questions. Those are great. I will get to those. Those are amazing. Okay, those are really good questions. So that was kind of the process there. And I think they did a really good job with helping us get through everything. And for me, it was really something that I did not take for granted. I wanted to be like the top of the top, best for the best. And it was nice because the trainers were really good. And in my group, we had a very small group. There was 3 of us that were in my group. And so we were able to connect. All 3 of us were able to connect. We were able to work together. And we were also able to have a really good relationship with our host and with Xplore. We were able to like connect deeper than I think bigger classes were, which I was very grateful for our class because we were able to do more. We were able to have more time. We were able to just have that connection that I needed and I thought was amazing. And that was for me. I think for other people, they could have different experiences. But for me, I think having that small group was very beneficial because I was able to practice more. I was able to make sure I was fully prepared for the classroom. Um, but I think for other people and for myself, there was a couple of struggles. I don't know Spanish. I will say I am now a beginner. But when I came down here, I did not have hardly any. I'm like twitching because I didn't have any Spanish coming down to Costa Rica. Yes, I had an app that me and my partner used before coming down here, but like it doesn't help, it does not help until you are down here, and it's not that fun. Like struggling trying to order some food. You're like, yo quiero, yo tengo, yo tiene, fish, which is pescado now. Like I know everything. Um, so I think like my biggest struggle was like I was scared to fully immerse myself in the culture because I did not speak Spanish and I was very nervous for that. So I think like overcoming that fear when I like first got here in San Ramon has been really helpful because sometimes I still get scared. Like last weekend, I was scared to go out with friends and do things because I think my Spanish is hard for me, and I get nervous. So I think that's really it's a struggle, and I'm learning every day how to speak more. I take lessons. My students help me. I go to other countries, like I've been to Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Colombia, and I know my Spanish is definitely beginner because in those countries I'm able to speak, but it's definitely a struggle. But it's not the worst thing, and I really do think everyone's really helpful down here, and the teachers are always helpful. Um, but let's get to some of these questions. Is the process a lot of paperwork? Yes and no. So you definitely need to get like a background check. You need to get a background check. Um, your I forget your bachelor's degree. You need to get some other paperwork. I can't remember exactly all the paperwork you need off the top of your hand, but there is some paperwork that you need to definitely travel and live abroad because your schools are going to need those documents. If you are solely working online, you don't need that much paperwork, but you won't know until you get down here. So it's better to have all the paperwork you need. And Xplore does a really good job of giving you a full list of everything you need. So that helps there. How fast is the process? The process depends on you. So there's a payment plan that you need to do. Basically, and you pick the dates that you want to go. So every month there's a new intake group, and you can pick what group you want to be in, and then you have to make sure you make the payments before you head there. So it just depends on you. My process took about my first time my first time I was going to go to Thailand, I said a year. So I emailed them. I said, okay, cool. I'm going to commit to the 2020 March group. And I think I was talking to them in March of 2019. So my process took a year for Thailand. But when I did it for Costa Rica, I think it was 6 months is when I like saved the money, sent the money, and sold everything. What happens if you change your mind while you're down there? Great question. That actually happened. If you saw the first half of my video and I said, oh, my group is really small, there's 3 of us, because originally there was 4 in my group. Okay, let's rewind that a little bit more. There's actually 5 in my group, but before we came down here, one decided they were not ready to come, so they didn't come, and that's okay. And then while we were down here, another person got really homesick, and a lot of things was just happening, and they decided to leave. And that is okay. I think that person had a really good relationship as well with Xplore, and they worked out something that person's able to pick up where they left off and come back when they're ready. Can I pick the location and country? Yeah, you can pick location and country. So for Costa Rica, I picked Costa Rica, and the training happens in San Ramon. So when you are going through your job training, you are able to tell the company that, hey, I would like to live in a beach town. I would like to live in the city. I would like to live in a local town, and that helps them pick your interview process. So I told them I would like to do a beach town, which is it's a high demand place to live in a beach town. It's hot, it's tropical, there's tons of things to do here. You can go to the beach, the rodeo, it's wild. So that's what I chose, and I was very lucky. I am telling you, I was very lucky with my selection. So yes, you can definitely tell them where you want to live. It's not always guaranteed, but they definitely tried their hardest to get you interviews on places that you want to go. Can you go back home and then come back? So I think I'm not quite sure if that's the same question as before, but I will answer it this way. So in Costa Rica, you could be on a 90-day visa, and during that time, if you would like to go home during your visa runs, you can go home and then come back. Is there a minimum requirement to start the program? Yes, but I feel like that's more of a question for the company and not for myself. How do you get paid? I get paid on a credit card. I get direct deposit. My school is really amazing. I got very lucky. I've heard different stories with other schools where they get paid in cash. I have a bank account here where I get direct deposit. My school was amazing where the bank actually came to our school, gave us our credit cards. They made sure our bank account was cool. They set me up with the app. They set me up with the bank. Great experience, but that's not how every school is. Like I said, my other teacher friend, she teaches in San Jose, and I think she gets paid in cash. Um, how long did you plan until you moved? I think my partner and I planned 6, 7, 8 months. I don't remember exactly, but we did a lot of planning beforehand. Like for me, it was very strategic. Like we had to save money, sell things, make sure we had enough money to spend while we were here before we got jobs, um, all that stuff. And I live in a beach town, so me and my partner wanted to make sure we had enough money before we could even do anything. How does your transportation to work since you don't have a car? Okay, so transportation to work is different for each person. So I live in Tamarindo. I don't think I mentioned that yet. I live in Tamarindo, which is the province of Guanacaste. So I live in Tamarindo, and I do not have a car. Um, I've moved twice, well, one time. So I lived in a place, and now I live in a different place. I take something called collectivos every single day. Or I ride my bike or I walk. So collectivos are basically like taxis, but they're basically normal people's cars. You just get in, you pay 1 mil to ride to school and 1 mil back, or you can ride the taxi collectivo to the beach, collectivo to the supermarket. Super easy. But I also walk to school, or I have a bicycle. I think it's over here. You can see it's like in this little corner. I ride that to school. It's honestly not the most comfortable thing, but it works for me. It's a lot quicker to ride that, but I'm exhausted. That thing is not that easy to ride. Uh, did your school train you before you started? Yeah, my school definitely trained me on their like setup, like Google Docs. Like my school is very progressed, I think. They have Google Docs, they have my email, we have Google Share Documents. So we did all that type of training beforehand. They kind of gave us like their background, their rules and regulation and expectations for the students. Um, so that was really nice and very handy. We did, I think, 1 week of new teacher training, which I and another students or another teachers were part of. And then we had a whole week where we did entire school training for the teachers before school even started. So we did 2 weeks of training before school started. And it was really cool. I got to set my classroom up, got to figure out how to work Google Docs, did my lesson planning. They basically break down what they expect from teachers and what they expect from the students, and it was honestly perfect. I got very lucky with my school. I love my school that I work at. My principal is awesome. The teachers are awesome. The staff is awesome. Like, I have a very great relationship with my school. I would recommend my school to anyone that's looking to have a job down in Costa Rica. It it is a I don't know if I like this is just me, but like I always cry at a job, right? I don't know who has cried at a job. Me. This is the first job I've never cried at. Yes, teaching is stressful. Yes, teaching is wild, but I truly have never cried at this job. And I would like to say thank you to my school because it is a very, very, very good school. I love it. Yes, there are moments where the parents are a little crazy or the students are a little crazy, but that's also very normal. But with the support of my school that I have, it is very helpful. Can you change locations mid-school year? Like housing, yeah, people change apartments all the time. If you would like to go to a different school, um, mid-school year, you can. You just have to break your teaching contract, which is like a very normal thing in the U.S. Like, say you don't like your school, you want to leave, you can do that. We've had a couple teachers go to different schools. It's no big deal. Just like quitting a normal job and just going to a new job. Did you get a Costa Rica phone plan? Yes, I did. Yes, when you are in San Ramon for your training, they actually help you with getting a SIM card, which is very nice. You get a SIM card, you get a local number, so you're able to use WhatsApp and do all those important things that you need to do. So very helpful. I have to actually reload my SIM card, so I don't have any minutes on here unless I have Wi-Fi, so I gotta recharge mine. But I usually have no issues. I mean, besides the app not working every so often, it's again very normal. So I like it. What's your? Oh wait, no. Do you have your own classes or are you an assistant? I teach third grade math, English, and science, which I was actually surprised that was kind of the norm here in Costa Rica, to teach multiple classes and multiple subjects. Almost every job that I interviewed for was for multiple subjects or multiple grades. So it was very normal, but also I felt very prepared when I was doing my training in San Ramon. So I teach all my classes. I teach one group of students English in the morning, English, math, and science. And then I go to another group of students in the afternoon, and they have English in the afternoon now, and I teach them English, math, and science. So I teach 3 subjects a day to 2 different groups of students. I have an A group and a B group. My A group goes English, math, and science. And then after me, that A group gets Espanol, and then social studies. So when I'm not teaching, I go into the B classroom and then I teach the B classroom in the afternoon, English, math, and science. I do get normal breaks because the students do have PE, they do have art, music, and swim. So I do get breaks during that time where I'm able to do lesson planning. I'm able to, sometimes I sneak in my lunch so I'm not eating with my students. And it's a very laid out schedule. My Mondays are my favorites because I have 3 or 4 back-to-back free periods where I have no students at all, so it's very nice. Fridays are my busiest days. I only have 1 break, and it's in the morning. And if you know anything about teaching or working at schools, the mornings are like wild, and the mornings are like 8 o'clock in the morning where I get a break. So I don't even count it. My favorite meal is a typical Costa Rican meal, which is rice and beans. Oh shoot, I haven't added them up. Oh, pescado and vegetables and salad. The Costa Rican meals are so good because it always comes with rice and beans. I'm not a big beans person, but I never say no. I just scoot it away. So you get rice, and I usually get pescado or fajita meat, which comes with vegetables, and it usually comes with a salad, and it's always flavored so good, and 10 out of 10. And you can get that at a local soda as well. What's your favorite thing about teaching in third grade? Honestly, third graders, they are becoming sarcastic, so they're trying to understand jokes more, and they're becoming wise. So a favorite thing that I like to do in my class is just like randomly clap at that small moments, and my whole group will just like slow clap at like the most random times during today. Today we did it twice. They did it for me unexpectedly because I was trying to draw a shape on the board, and my students like, yeah, Alyssa, Yes, listen, they just kept on cheering and cheering, and I was like, yeah, I did it, guys. Like, it was great. And then every Thursday, the high schoolers come into my classroom to announce that they're selling ice cream. So as soon as they walk in, my students just start slow clapping. Just start to slow clap. Just imagine like third graders clapping at high schoolers. And it's so funny. And then when they leave, we clap again. And it's just, they are like they're developing the humor, and it is so funny watching them just like slow clap at the most random things. If someone's putting up their chair, we just like, yeah, way to put that chair up. Woo! It's just great. It is so funny. Um, yeah, so that is one of my favorite parts of being a third grade teacher is because they are trying to be funny and they are developing their humor, and it's amazing. So that's definitely my best part. I like it. But I have about 5 minutes left. So one thing that I like to add is like a little bit of the cost of living down here in Costa Rica, because I think a lot of people are always wondering about the cost of living. For myself, I think living down here on a teacher salary is doable. I'm able to travel from Costa Rica inside the country and outside the country on my teaching salary. I think it's great. Like my apartment, this one bedroom apartment, it comes with AC, Wi-Fi, light. It came fully furnished. It cost me $500 a month, and the rest just goes to whatever I would like to do for fun. That means like eating out, groceries. I've been to other towns in Costa Rica on my weekends, like Monteverde, La Fortuna. Where did I just go? I just went to a new town. No, I was going to say Manuel Antonio, but I didn't go there. I don't remember the town I just went to. Well, it's been crazy. But yes, you're able to do everything you need. Like I was able to afford my bicycle. You are able to do a lot of different things with your teaching salary. Just be careful. Like I do live in a beach town, so prices are more pricey. There's a high season and a low season, and prices do go up. You'll even see it on the menus. It was very shocking to me to go to one of my favorite restaurants and literally see the prices completely different at the beginning of busy season. So just know that if you're living in a beach town, prices do tend to go up a lot higher. But everything is doable if you are comfortable living, just as a normal human being and not trying to eat out every single day at a vacation type restaurant. You gotta eat at local sodas, go to local grocery stores, cook dinner at home, go to the beach, eat sandwiches at the beach and stuff like that. Ooh, okay, one last question. What does your day look like as a teacher? So school starts at 8 a.m. and school ends at 3 o'clock. So I usually get to school about 45 minutes early, so I get to school at 7:15. That's where I get the AC turned on, I get the TV going, Montezuma, that's where I went. I get the AC going because it's so hot here. I want to make sure the room is cool and ready to go for the students. And then I always teach English, math, and science first for my group A. And then I have lunch with my students. And then I teach English, math, and science to group B. And then I usually come home, and I'm a cat napper after school, so I usually nap about 30 minutes after I get done teaching. And then I would either cook dinner at home, or I will go catch the sunset on the beach with some teachers or by myself. And then on the weekends, I usually just go to the farmer's market, go to the coffee shops, go to the beach, and hang out. It's pretty fun. It's pretty chill. The town is a vibe. Costa Rica is an amazing country. I love living here. Like my landlord's dogs are barking right now, but it's a great time. I love living here. I recommend it to anyone that has any other questions to reach out to Xplore. Or you can find me here on Facebook, or you can go to my Instagram and ask me any questions. My Instagram handle is World Created, and it's where you can reach me with any questions. But again, my name is Alyssa. I live in Costa Rica, and I teach to third graders. But that's all I have for now. I will see you guys soon. Bye.